Welcome to Spirits on Spirits, the podcast where we mix ghost stories with a little liquid courage. I'm Aiden.
And I'm Nate.
And together we'll dive into the eerie, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying, all while enjoying a drink or two. Each episode will explore haunted places, ghostly encounters, and paranormal mysteries, pairing them with the perfect cocktail to keep our nerves steady. So grab a glass, turn down the lights, and join us as we sip, shiver, and swap some spine-chilling stories. Because here at Spirits on Spirits, the only thing stronger than the ghosts are our drinks.
What's up, paranormal posse?
What up?
What up? We are back with another episode of Spirits on Spirits. This week we are headed to the Low Country, Savannah, Georgia. I do declare, we are headed down to the land of peaches and cream.
I got my peaches in Georgia.
Yeah, no, we are coming to you live from Savannah. I feel like we got to stop saying it. We coming to you live from, because it makes it sound like we're in those places.
We're not live. We're recording this like way before it's going to come out.
And also, too, like, we're not in Savannah, Georgia.
That's also true.
So maybe we should take that phrase, or I should take that phrase back to the workshop, the shoppy of work. And get that one kind of sorted out. But we are coming to you this week from Savannah, Georgia. I still said from. Like, it still sounds like we're in Savannah, Georgia. We're not.
We're discussing Savannah, Georgia.
We are focused on. We are
there you go.
Putting underneath the microscope of Spirits on Spirits. Yeah, no, Savannah, Georgia. Very excited about this episode. Definitely think there's a lot of haunts to be talked about.
Allegedly, it's the most haunted city in the country.
I believe it. I definitely believe it, especially after all the research that I've done. It seems like there's just been a lot that's happened down there.
Yeah.
Gorgeous city. Have you ever been?
I've never been.
Great. You know me. I love me some Low Country, some South Carolina, some Georgia.
You been?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Decent amount of times. We go to you know how we go to Hilton Head every summer.
Right.
Savannah's like hour and a half outside. Like most of the times I fly in to Savannah Airport to go to Hilton Head.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely have some personal experience here. Nothing like too crazy. So like the place I'm talking about, I've never been to, but definitely want to go to next time I go down this summer. So excited to get into it. But before we get into the stories, Aiden, tell the people what we sipping on.
So we're sipping on the, it's a cocktail based on a movie character.
Ooh.
It's called the Scarlet O'Hara cocktail from Gone with the Wind. Have you ever seen Gone with the Wind?
No.
Garbage.
Oh, really?
True garbage. Like I
feel like that's one of those movies that like everyone like.
Dude, everyone loves that movie. Let me tell you, it's 5 hours of torture.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that bad?
It's so long.
Give me a little like plot synopsis.
So it's I'm guessing that I can't remember exactly the movie, but I think that they're based in Georgia, and it's at the beginning of the Civil War, and the girl's like fiance goes off to war, and then she falls in love with some other guy. His name is Shannon. I've never heard of a dude named Shannon. But
Shannon, I love you. Is it singing? I always thought that was singing.
No, it's not singing.
What's the one that's singing?
Mary Poppins?
No, not Mary.
Sound of Music?
No, it's Sound of Music.
That's Mary Poppins.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Mary Poppins comes from Sound of Music.
Oh, well, okay. But Mary Poppins is its own Disney movie, right? Yeah.
That's
Mary fucking Poppins.
That you're thinking of the Peaky Blinders.
No, yeah, well, that was okay. No, I'm definitely not. So Mary Poppins is its own movie.
Maybe, but
no, definitely.
But also, Mary Poppins was like the protagonist of Sound of Music.
Are you sure?
Yes,
100% sure.
Let me look it up.
I don't even know. You know what? Let's let it live in ambiguity.
No, because you know you're wrong now.
I don't know. I've never seen
wrong.
The Sound of Music. This all started with me saying, "Is it the music one?" I know Mary Poppins is its own movie.
It is its own movie.
Yeah, I told you that.
Um.
I remember watching Mary Poppins as a kid.
Okay, you know what? I'll eat that. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't find it.
Dude, I wasn't saying that you were wrong, but I was saying Mary Poppins definitely is its own movie.
Oh, it's its own movie for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, no, you didn't even know that. You were like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe." Oh man.
Yeah, no, maybe I might just eat my words.
I think you have to.
Okay.
Yum 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 yum.
But back to
we are so far off.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
Gotcha.
Horrible movie.
Horrible movie. Okay. All right.
5 hours. It's literally 5 hours long. The only funny part of the movie, and it's fun. Like it's not actually funny, but her fiance goes off to war, and he's the first death of the Civil War.
Oh,
which I think is pretty funny.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean someone had to be, but it's tough to be that guy.
I do declare we're fighting now. Done.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Dead. That's crazy. Well, all right. Gone with the Wind. 0 out of 5 stars from Aiden.
Yeah, movie 0 out of 5 stars.
Gotcha.
The drink though.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. So it's gonna be an ounce and a half.
Wait, did you say the name of it?
It's the Scarlet O'Hara.
Oh yeah, you did. My fault.
It's an ounce and a half of Southern Comfort, an ounce and a half of cranberry juice, and then a half ounce of lime juice with a lime wedge garnish.
Ooh, nice.
So let's give it a little
cheers.
sipperoonie. Clink.
Cheers.
It's very smooth.
Really?
Very smooth.
The non-alcoholic, I think, is a little bitter. Like I'm getting a lot of lime, but maybe I just put too much lime in. I also just spilled it all over myself, so that's real fun.
Almost tastes like watermelon.
Real? Ooh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. It also looks like watermelon.
Watermelon whiskey.
Very tasty.
Nice.
I feel like I'm never going to live down the Mary Poppins Sound of Music thing.
Mary fucking Poppins. That's also not that, like, you might get through. What's your goal? Set a goal for yourself this episode. It's a Friday night. Set a goal for yourself.
Yeah, we normally film on Wednesdays, but this time we're doing a Friday. So
yeah.
Might have to go a little crazy.
I think you should get through 4.
I'll set the bar at 3. If
Over
I get above
under?
3, yeah.
Okay.
If I get above 3, that's an achievement.
Okay,
but
cool.
I think 3 is very doable.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe like pound one during the break in between.
Yeah.
That would count.
It's actually it would be an easy drink to pound.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's not keep the people waiting any longer.
I know, dude. They've been on the edge of their seats this whole time, thinking about what are the spooks gonna be.
Yeah. Well,
what are the ghouls gonna be?
Well, let's get ghouling.
Let's ghouling.
Let's ghoul to it.
So my location this week is the Moon River Brewing Company.
Ooh.
Nate pointed out that I've done a couple of like brew related businesses in the last few weeks, so I'll have to tone that down. But
I think this is only your second one.
Yeah.
Are you getting paid by this one too, or is that was that just a one-time?
No, that was a one-time thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. It was a bed and brew actually.
Yeah.
This is a brewery, so separate things.
Oh man.
So yeah, Moon River Brewing Company. So located at 21 West Bay Street in Savannah, Georgia. It's a site steeped in rich history and Southern charm.
Nice.
It was originally constructed in 1821 as the City Hotel, which I believe was the first hotel in Savannah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But it's undergone numerous transformations, which has reflected the evolving narrative of Savannah as a city.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was commissioned by Charleston native, this is a tough name, Eliezer, maybe?
Maybe Elizer?
Eleazer.
Maybe Elizer.
I'll call him Elizer. Elizer Early. It was Savannah's first hotel, and it quickly became a hub of activity. Beyond offering just lodging, it housed the city's first post office and a branch of the bank.
Whoa.
the United States.
Oh, they had a
So it
little
was
bit
like-
of everything.
Yeah, I feel like that's like that small town thing where it's like the police station, fire station, post office.
Yeah.
Like everything's just all in one building.
Was it a small town? Was Savannah a small town at one point?
I don't know how big it was at that point.
Okay, and also too, I'm sorry, I get the analogy you were trying to make.
Yeah.
I thought for a second you were trying to say Savannah was a small
Like as
town.
you're building a city, I feel
Yeah.
like it's like, all right, everything's here.
Yeah, just here.
Yeah.
Cool.
The hotel welcomed several notable guests. By the way, I've never heard of any of these people, but
But the internet says they're notable.
Yeah, the internet said that they were notable. So, including War of 1812 hero Winfield Scott. I feel like
Cool.
that's a name that I've heard actually. Winfield
Yeah.
Scott.
Sure. War 1812.
The Marquis de Lafayette,
Nice.
which I'm pretty sure is in Hamilton.
Oh, cool.
I think that guy's in Hamilton.
Nice.
Could be wrong.
Never.
I've been
seen
wrong
Hamilton.
on this episode already. So. And then naturalist John James Audubon, who
Ooh.
resided there for 6 months while promoting his wildlife sketches.
The Audubon Society.
Oh, yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Very
Okay.
cool.
All right.
You didn't make that
I
connection.
did not make that connection. No.
Oh man. Be like, this guy's really famous. Yeah, and his name is John J. Walmart. Well, I wonder what he's in charge of.
No, but when I heard his name, I thought of the Autobahn, like the highway in Germany, where there's no speed limit. So I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah. Oh man.
But no, it's yeah, Audubon Society makes a lot more sense for a naturalist. In 1851, Peter Wiltberger acquired the property and introduced unique attractions. What are you laughing at?
For a second, I thought you were going to say Peter Cottontail, and I was like, I don't know why, but you were like, yeah, Peter Cottontail took over.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. That was what came to mind.
We are on one this
Yeah.
episode. He acquired the property and introduced unique attractions. Like he displayed live lions.
Whoa.
Pretty sick.
Pretty sick. Those were probably the most sickly lions of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
They were just-
Savannah lions.
Yeah, I was gonna
not great.
say. Oh man, what like that early 1900s? They got shipped across the ocean in tiny.
Not
cages.
even mid 1800s.
Mid 1800s.
Yeah.
So like
Not great.
Starved, all kinds of just like sickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, kids. Look, kids, come see the lions down in Savannah, Georgia.
Just a dude in a lion costume being like, rawr.
Oh man.
We couldn't get real ones because it's Savannah, Georgia,
Oh,
so
man.
we had to go with Jerry in the lion costume. The hotel ceased operations in 1864, obviously because of the Civil War going on,
Oh,
Yeah.
yep. Forgot about that.
and then it never reopened.
Oh, never reopened.
No,
Huh.
it never reopened as the hotel.
Got you.
It's served various purposes since then, including functioning as a warehouse for coal and lumber, and then later as a general storage facility. And then in the 1960s, it was repurposed as an office supply store until Hurricane David damaged the structure in 1979, which led to its abandonment for
Whoa.
like 15 to 20 years.
Whoa. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
A failed brewery business took over in 1995, and then it was finally acquired in 1999 by a couple of entrepreneurs
Gotcha.
who turned it into the Moon River Brewery, which is still going strong.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen Moon River like beer, like in the liquor store and stuff like that.
I knew Moon River as a very popular song. Frank Ocean did a cover of it,
Got you.
but yeah, I don't know about the beer.
I feel like I've seen the beer like in the liquor store and stuff. I could be wrong, but I feel like I have.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they are that big. Beyond its brews, the building is home to some booze as well in the
that
form
was a
of
good one.
spirits. I thought it was
Nice.
funny.
That was a good one.
It's so haunted that paranormal shows like Ghost Adventures, which I watched as part of my research for this episode,
Nice.
Ghost hunters and BuzzFeed Unsolved have all done investigations
Whoa,
there.
really?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah. Big names.
The triangle of...
The Illuminati of ghost
There you go.
paranormal
Yeah.
investigations. Dude, so I watched the Ghost Adventures episode for this episode.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Really?
It's season 2, so they were all
so
baby faced.
Yeah.
Zach Baggins was like at the beginning of his like crazy phase, I think. At one point, they heard like a dragging sound upstairs, and when I say like Zach Baggins sprinted upstairs, it was like a cartoon character.
Oh, man.
It was hilarious. But so now let's get into the haunts. So, among the spirits said to inhabit the premises, the most infamous is Toby, a ghostly presence believed to dwell in the brewery's basement. First of all, basements? No thanks.
No, yeah.
Like when you say it's a basement dwelling ghost,
Yeah.
not a chill dude. I can't imagine.
Hear me out, though. Hard to be scared of a ghost named Toby.
Fair. But then you go down into the basement
No,
where
that's
Toby
fair.
chills, and it's like,
I'm sure Toby's just standing in the corner, like kicking a can a little bit, and everyone's like freaking out, like, oh! And Toby's just like, whatever, guys. Kick.
fuck out of my basement.
Toby.
So he's described as a shadowy figure and is often seen, like you just said, actually, lurking in darker corners, avoiding direct observation.
There you go.
So he's a chiller. He's just trying to like keep out of everybody's way.
Just fucking Toby.
Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's how I would be as a ghost. I'd be like, dude, just go away.
Yeah.
Visitors and staff have reported sudden cold spots, disembodied voices, and an overwhelming sense of unease when they're in the basement. Some accounts detail individuals feeling an icy chill on one side of their body or hearing unintelligible whispers. So he can talk, I guess.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What? So, hold on. No, never mind.
No, what?
Dumb.
No, what were you gonna say?
Is it unintelligible? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Is that really the word? Because when I hear unintelligible, I think like someone just whispered like 4 + 7 is 13.
No, unintelligible is like you can't understand it.
Oh, I just thought it was like stupid. Like it was a stupid person whispering.
That's unintelligent.
No, I know, but I thought it was close enough. Dude, like, I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. That's why I said never mind.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have pushed. But yeah, whatever. All right. We'll move on. The origin of Toby remains a mystery. Some speculate that he is a former employee or guest who met a tragic end within the building's walls. And then others think that he could be a residual energy from the time. So it was a hospital during Savannah's yellow fever outbreak.
Oh,
so
geez.
people are like, okay, maybe he was caught in that and
Sure.
died in the building while that was going on. A lot of children died during that in the Moon River Brewery. So, or the building that is now the Moon River Brewery.
Come get a beer. We got a lot of dead kids out back too.
Grab a beer and grab a shovel. We're
burying kids.
Come on down.
That's horrible. Oh man.
So yeah. On that note, on to the next spirit.
Oh man.
In 1832, a heated altercation happened between James Stark, a local dude known for his abrasive demeanor, and Dr. Philip Minnies, the city physician. Who's picking a fight with the doctor?
I don't know.
The local doctor.
Yeah, that's a wild one.
He's out here saving lives and taking lives, I guess. But
yeah, and this guy's like, no, fuck you, doc.
So it led to a confrontation at the city hotel where Dr. Minnies ended up fatally shooting James Stark.
What doctor is strapped?
In the 1830s?
Probably
all of them.
I guess. But that was like before like Like, oh, sorry, here's my stethoscope and my revolver. Like,
I also feel like back then doctors were like, okay, go, like,
yeah, no,
drink milk,
yeah.
and your cancer will go away. Like,
Oh man, that's
yeah,
funny.
they weren't real doctors.
Yeah.
Claiming self-defense, Dr. Minnie's would be acquitted.
Oh, there you go.
Nowadays, the second floor of the building is believed to be haunted by James. Patrons and employees have recounted experiences of being pushed or feeling an unseen presence, particularly near the staircase. A lot of people think that this is James Stark, like, wanting revenge for his death.
I don't know what's good with ghosts and staircases. Like we've read it and researched a lot of stuff that it's like, yeah, this ghost likes staircases.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe
either.
they're portals.
Staircases are portals.
Yeah, they like lead to stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're portals to the next floor, dummy.
But also,
yeah,
maybe other dimensions.
other dimensions. Would you like to get up to the second floor or another dimension?
I mean, hey, so I recently listened back to episode 4 where we talked about Elisa Lamb, and the other floors could be other dimensions, like the elevator game where she like got out on floor 5. Maybe.
I do.
Maybe.
Okay, whatever.
You
Yeah,
don't know.
there's no way you're pushing this narrative.
You don't
in
know, man.
Another episode. Oh man.
It all comes full circle. And then lastly is the upper levels. So especially the 3rd and 4th floors have their own hauntings. Going back to Savannah's yellow fever outbreaks, these floors served as makeshift hospitals where a ton of patients, including children, succumbed to yellow fever. Visitors have reported hearing the faint sounds of children playing, soft footsteps, and glimpses of apparitions in period-appropriate clothing.
That's a bummer.
It is a bummer. Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Especially kids.
Yeah. Dead kids are no fun.
No.
Yeah.
Also, like, potentially, so in the, going back to the Ghost Adventures episode, Nick got, like, possessed in there.
By a kid?
I don't know if it was by a kid, but it was by something. Or he was just, like, looking mean, but allegedly he got possessed.
Jeez.
And then lastly, the lady in white, who's a spectral figure in flowing attire, has been seen drifting through walls and ceilings.
Whoa.
Which I feel like you never hear about a ghost flying through the ceiling. I feel like it's always walls and doors.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually didn't. Yeah.
Because, like, anytime that you hear about a ghost, they're like on the floor, you know? Like, they don't go through the floor, they don't go through the ceiling. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I never thought of that before.
They can go through walls, but they can't go through floors and ceilings.
You just don't hear about it very often.
I guess she can go through ceilings,
Yeah,
but weird.
I guess so.
But her, like Toby, her origins remain a mystery.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is the Moon River Brewing Company.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there.
Tons of history.
A lot of stuff that's going on.
There's a lot of stuff that I didn't get into also. Like, I only briefly touched on the yellow fever outbreak, but that was probably the result of
pretty big.
a lot of deaths.
And I'm sure a big location like that had probably some part in the Civil War and stuff like that.
Yeah, so what's interesting is that Savannah is one of the only places in America that had a battle in every war ever fought on American soil.
That's crazy.
So Revolutionary, Civil, War of 1812, all had battles, like major battles in Savannah.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which I didn't know.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
No, yeah, that is very, very cool. Probably just leads also to like the history and the potentially most haunted city in the country.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of death connected there.
Yeah. So haunted or not?
I'll go with haunted because I feel like with the Civil War, the yellow fever, the random like one-off deaths there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of death.
Absolutely.
A lot of death in one place. So I'll go with haunted. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going haunted too. Definitely think there's a lot going on there, and just the pieces line up. So I'm going haunted for sure.
For sure, dude.
For sure,
All right, I'm
dude.
gonna chug this beverage.
Yeah, chug the beveragino. It's hard to keep. It's hard to sip while you drink.
I
Like,
know.
we might have to implement. It's hard to do because I think like we want to do the first take on the episode. Like, you take a sip for the first time on the episode, but like there we should have you like pounding one before the episode even starts, or like
Ah,
maybe do a shot before the episode starts,
yeah.
just to get a little wavy,
A little wavy.
a little wavy with the spirits, dude.
Maybe also implement like sip breaks or something.
Yeah,
in,
sip
in the
breaks.
middle of stories.
Yep. I'm just gonna get a really loud whistle and blow it into the microphone every time. Sip break.
People will love that.
People will love. Our 4 listeners are gonna turn into 2, and it's just gonna be you and I.
Yeah,
listening
us.
back. Oh man, nice. Well, definitely excited to tell mine. Do you want to take a break, make a new one, and then get back to it?
Yep. Sounds good.
Get back to it.
Be right back.
Burbs. We are back in the saddle for the second half of the episode. Aiden killed the drink and then made a double.
Yeah, went with a little double Rooney.
Double Runeski.
It's the first one came out with like not a ton of liquid, so I was like, I could fit multiple of these in one glass. So that's what I did. Shall we do a little mid-episode cheers?
Yeah, mid-episode cheers.
Let's see if this one's as good. Oh, it's a lot more limey for some reason.
Oh, did you do a little too much lime?
I don't know. It's like I just did double everything. So
Got you.
It shouldn't be different, but it tastes a little different.
Nice. Well, you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right, so my story is a cool one. So it's not a place that I'd been in Savannah. I've been to, some of the places that were on the list, like a couple of the cemeteries I've been to, which are really cool. And I was looking at them, I was like, yeah, I feel like I've done a couple cemeteries, like just like, wanted to switch it up and wanted to do a place that I have not been to before. So I'm going to do the Mercer Williams house.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Well, boy, oh boy, my friend, I got a story for you.
Let's get into it.
So, Mercer Williams House was originally constructed in 1860. It was commissioned by a prominent local figure. Mercer family was a pretty big family down in Savannah, pretty prominent, all that stuff. Commissioned the house, and then it started to get built. However, the Civil War delayed construction by a decent amount, and it wasn't until 1868 that it was officially completed, and at that point it was by a different owner, John R. Wilder. Which, great name, by the way. Great name.
He's Wilder.
Yep. It was a pretty opulent house. It was one that was built to have a pretty grand architecture style. I think it was a mix of Southern and Italian architecture, so a pretty cool mix of the two. We'll definitely make sure the pictures are on the gram. Yeah, it was a pretty opulent house. A lot of stuff going on. Very cool. In the earliest the earliest in the early 20th century, it was served as the Savannah Shriners Temple. It was pretty cool. However, our story really kind of kicks off in 1969. Preservationist Jim Williams purchased the property, and he was involved in the restoration of around 20 properties around Savannah. Decent amount. So this guy was probably pretty big bucks, based on the stories that I have found. So he was a pretty opulent man. He held these pretty grand parties. He was a entertainer. He was like what you would consider like a socialite. Like he was someone that was involved in the social scene. He was in charge of a lot of stuff and was kicking and moving.
A Savannah Gatsby, if you
Yeah,
will.
Savannah Gatsby, if you will. It's funny because I actually read something that talked about that of like he was the line I forget, and I actually don't even want to say it because I forget who said it, so I wouldn't be able to give them credit. But there was a line that referenced the Great Gatsby on a website that I was looking at when
Talking about him.
talking about him and his parties. So yeah, he held these regularly scheduled parties that were pretty opulent. His most notable was his Christmas party. It was a pretty big to do, and I will get into that in a little bit. But right before he bought it, we actually got our first death, which is now our first ghost
Okay.
on the property. The death was none other than Tommy Downs. I had to find his name. I forgot it for a second.
Okay.
Tommy Downs, 11-year-old boy. Yup.
Of course, it's a kid named Tommy. I feel like they're
Yeah.
always named Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Who's an 11-year-old boy who, when he was out playing and just running around and stuff like that, he ran into the house apparently chasing birds.
What?
I don't know. Tommy was just a free spirit.
Why were there birds in the house?
I don't know. I don't think there was anyone living. I think it like fell into a little bit of not super disarray, but before
It was like mid-construction.
Yeah, I mean like Jim Williams, like he had to preserve it. Like he preserved the house, so he brought it back. So I do think there was like, I don't know if it was fully abandoned, but there was definitely like Tommy Downs was able to run into the house. You shouldn't be laughing because I know how this story ends, and you're gonna feel like a really big dick for laughing. He was.
Why was he chasing birds?
I don't know, dude. He was able to run into the house.
What a weird dude.
And he found. Well, he was an 11-year-old boy. He was a free spirit. He found his way up onto the roof.
Okay.
And he fell off the roof.
Yeah.
And he died.
Well, he was probably chasing birds, and then they flew off the roof.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't be doing that.
The fall did not kill him, though.
Oh, no.
It was the metal spiked fence.
Oh, my God, no.
That he fell onto and impaled him.
No.
That did him in.
Oh.
Yep. Apparently, the paramedics cut the rod off the fence and brought him to the hospital.
We
with
should
the
not be
pole.
laughing about this.
You're the one that's
Dude,
laughing,
this is rough.
You're the one that's laughing.
I feel a little loosey-goosey from these cocktails.
Yeah, so he was impaled by the spike fence, and that's what killed him.
That is a woof. That is a rough way to go.
So, needless to say, he is still seen around the premise.
I'm sure he is.
So
okay, all right, dude. Okay, this is gonna sound so bad. Is he seen like
not with the spike
in one
him.
piece?
The spike is not in him when they see him. But apparently, he is seen. Like people that go will see a little boy standing on the roof, like a shadowy figure of a little boy standing on a roof, or like peeking out the window. So that is how Tommy Downs is seen.
Dude,
I don't know why you're laughing so much, bro. It's a little boy with a stake in him.
All jokes aside, very sad.
Yeah, tough way to go.
Sad.
Tough way to go. Apparently, his sister saw the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when they were like, "Oh, we don't know if this is real," they found her, and she was like, "No, definitely real. Pretty scarred for life." That was how you got the antidote about the paramedics cutting the metal spike and then bringing him to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Because apparently she witnessed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah. So Yeah, he's still lurking around, but he is not our only ghost, and that kind of brings us back to the timeline of the story of Jim Williams bought the house, preserved it. I don't know why keep saying preserve it like that. It's a weird way to say preserved it. He restored it, and through all his opulent parties. However, he he had an assistant who I forgot the name. Hold on, let me pull up the name real quick. Danny Hansford was his assistant.
Yeah.
And his lover.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, his assistant and his lover, whose job prior to being Jim Williams' assistant was a prostitute.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was a prostitute turned executive assistant, and the lover of his boss,
Jim Williams.
Yes. So the two were into each other, both emotionally and sexually. I don't actually know if they were into each other emotionally, but they were definitely boning.
They were porking.
They were porking. And Jim Williams shot Danny Hansford.
Whoa, that turned out.
Yeah, he shot
really
him.
quick.
Apparently, it was a lover's spat, where then he went, brah, brah.
Okay, so
That might have been too loud into the mic.
for some reason, my assumption is always cheating.
Maybe.
Like Danny was hooking up with other people.
Yeah, it might have been.
In which case, it's kind of on Jim Williams, because you're dating a former prostitute,
I mean,
and then you're pissed off when they.
We don't sex shame on this podcast.
I'm not sex shaming. In fact, I'm siding with Danny here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So they had a bit of a lovers' quarrel.
That's how you say that word.
And then he shot him, and they tried to get him convicted. So the first time they brought him to trial, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. But then they found conflicting, like a police report that had like conflicting evidence. So he got acquitted, or they retried him, and they ended up retrying him another 3 times, and he finally got acquitted. So he went through a lot in terms of the trials.
I don't feel bad. He shot a dude, so
Yeah. I mean, the judge, because I think it was the jury's decision, but the judge had a quote where he was like, that Jim Williams is. That son of a gun, Jim Williams, is guiltier than anything. He was like, but I don't blame him, because that Danny Hemsworth boy was trouble with a capital T. I was like, this sounds like a really animated judge.
yeah.
But yeah, so and we're talking like 1970. So like this isn't
what?
Yeah, he bought the house in 1969.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this wasn't super long ago. But yeah, so I guess Danny got his revenge, because 6 months later, Jim ended up dying in the same room that Danny died in, of somewhat natural causes. Like he got sick and then died in the same bedroom that he died in. But he died 6 months later in the same room. Danny's ghost is often seen in the like office area on the second floor of the house, and that is what's said to be like his hotspot. And then Jim's ghost can be seen roaming the residence. It's interesting because he was known for his very opulent parties. His most exquisite of them being his Christmas party. So you can actually see him, or like it's said that like around Christmas time you can see lights and like hear music and see like his ghost like roaming around like the area of his house where he would have had parties during Christmas time. So that was
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was where those are the 3 ghosts that reside in the residence. and I found all three of them pretty interesting. However, I think another interesting tidbit about this case was that Jim's sister actually owns the place now, and she is very tight-lipped, meaning she is like, nope, no ghosts, no nothing, like doesn't talk about her brother ever. Like she is, I'm guessing, like either ashamed or embarrassed or something about this story and history. So it's hard for us to kind of get information regarding like current like paranormal encounters because she doesn't let us kind of see that side of the building. It's a museum. It is open to the public these days,
Oh,
but
that's cool.
they really shy away from the paranormal and or shooting your gay lover side of the
I mean, the shooting
encounter.
people thing is fair.
No,
but
yeah,
I feel
don't
like,
shoot your gay lovers.
I feel like a lot of haunted places steer away from the hauntedness, and I feel like they shouldn't.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, 50% of the population believes in ghosts. You got to market to the 50% that does.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you definitely are better off marketing to places that do it. Yeah, but I do. I think it's interesting that they shy away. I think I get it from her, for her, I guess, a little bit because the stories are all so tragic that revolve around that place that, like, if you still own it, like, privately, like, it makes sense that you're
And
like,
if your
yeah, you
brother
know what,
did a shitty thing,
yeah, you just don't really want to think about it.
yeah, that's fair.
His prostitute assistant lover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wild.
Wild. So, what are your thoughts? Haunted or nah?
Um, it was pretty, like, I feel like it's like violent deaths, or at least Danny was a violent death.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and Tommy.
Oh yeah, Tommy.
Jeez, you forgot about, you laughed the
Dude,
entire
I
time.
forgot.
You
Forgot
laughed
all
the
about
entire
Tommy.
time, and then you forgot about Tommy Downs.
No, yeah, I forgot about Tommy Downs. Yeah, dude, Tommy's definitely still chilling out there,
Yeah.
chasing birds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chasing birds.
So yeah, I would go haunted. I think he's stuck around.
Yeah, I agree.
You think it's haunted too?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's like enough history, and it just like, it seems like Jim was very opulent, like kind of crazy. Like, it seems like chaotic energy. There's like enough chaotic energy for it to still be haunted, and then also to a very tragic ends for really all three. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely think there's no, if a place is gonna be haunted, this place. It'd be cool to go down to the museum. That'd be
I'd
a
be down.
fun, like, spirits on spirits ghost trip would be Savannah. That'd be a fun first one.
Meet the sister. Maybe chat with her a little bit about.
I don't think she would ever talk.
I don't
to
think so
us
either.
Too.
But maybe.
But
You
maybe.
never know.
So yeah, crazy. Savannah seems like a haunted place. I do declare.
Haunted AF.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, that's all I got for this episode.
Well, yeah. As always, please send in your personal ghost stories to spiritsonspiritspod
That would
at
be,
gmail.com.
dude, if we got even one email, I would be so excited.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Just anything like, hey, do the city, or like, I had this encounter in this place, like, talk about it. Like, definitely, just anything would get me super stoked up.
Yeah. So stoke up Nate.
Yeah.
Send in your ghost stories. And then follow us on socials.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, stay spooky.
Stay spooky. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.